What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary and this is Mahope Studio, where we talk about opportunities abroad, art and lifestyle, DIY included. So if you're not subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. And if you're new here, welcome to the family. I'm hoping to hit a 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, so please subscribe, be my supporter. And today, as you can see, I'm going to talk about some of the requirements or some of the documents you need to have basically before you even think of moving, either for studies or for opportunities abroad. So some people have been reaching out asking, oh please, how do I even come to abroad? I say, you first of all, you need a passport. Be like, okay, so once I have a passport I can come? No. Once you have a passport, you also need other things like visas. There are countries that don't require a visa. You can check that with your country because it varies per country. Like for example, Kenya, if you are Kenyan, there are countries you don't need a visa. And there are countries you get visa upon arrival. And there are different type of visas. If you want to come study in a country, you need a study visa, a student visa. If you need to come for job, you need a job visa. And in most cases, if it's for a job visa, you probably need to be sponsored. You need a special type of visa, and the potential employer need to either apply it for you for some countries like Korea, or if it's some countries like US, Canada, they need to, like, send you some documents to prove that you've gotten the job offer from them, and they'll be willing to sponsor your visa and your accommodation and whatnot and things like that. So it's a whole lot of process, but basically you need a passport. Well, it's also true that some countries you don't need a passport. Like, it depends with the agreement a country has. Okay, it's very obvious and true that some countries you also don't need a passport for some specific number of times. For example, if you are in Korea, you are a Korean, let's say you have a Korean passport, or you are born in Korea, or are naturalized in Korea or Jamaica, and you need to come to America, for example, you don't need a visa. But there is a limit, specific number of days you can stay, and then when the days elapse, after the days, you'll need a visa, or you need some documentation. But there are also some countries, basic countries, most countries, you'll need a passport. It's very important to have a passport. Just have a passport. You never know where an opportunity will come. It's good just to have a passport. It doesn't hurt to have it. Anyway, it's your right. If it's your country, you can get a passport. And once you have a passport, it's very easy to apply for a visa, because you can't apply for a visa, for example, in most cases you can't apply for a visa if you do not have a passport. So always just have a passport. It's just important to have a passport. And passport doesn't take long to get it. You apply it, you get it within weeks or months or years, depending on where you're coming from and the situation. And once you have a visa, if opportunity comes, let's say there is a job offer, you applied for a job and you got a job, most employers or most schools, if you're applying for a scholarship, they'll ask you the first question, do you have a passport? So if you don't have a passport, you already fail, you already lose the opportunity. So it's always just good to have a passport. And once you apply for a passport, some passports expire after 10 years, after 20 years, after most cases after 10 years, most countries I know, or even 5 years. So if that is a long time for you not to get an opportunity to have you need to apply for a visa. And a visa, it's always good to apply for a visa before you apply for a ticket. Another thing you also need is a ticket. If you're going to travel from, let's say, Philippines to Mexico, you need a ticket, air ticket. In most cases, you'll use airplane. Some people use water as means of transport, but I don't know much about that. I'm more familiar with airplanes, and in airplanes you'll need a ticket, and that costs some money. So you need some money, you need to have some savings, so you need to get some money from people, sponsor, I don't know. You just have to figure out how to get money for the ticket. So that is another thing. you need a passport in most cases. Basically, in most cases, you need a passport, you need a visa, you need a ticket. And this ticket, do not rush to apply for a ticket before you get your visa, because visa has two issues. I never knew about this. I never knew that you can get a visa or you can be denied a visa. I never knew that. So when I first went to apply for a visa, I was denied, and I really cried because that money goes just like that. So when you need to reapply, you need to pay afresh. So you need a visa, and don't apply for a visa, for a ticket. Don't pay for a ticket before you get your visa. Okay? Because you might be denied, or it might delay depending on the situation or depending on the time. So that is just number 3. Number 4, like during COVID, they were asking for the COVID screening, that certificate to show that you've been screened and you don't have COVID. In some countries, they also need these immunization cards. Like, just do due diligence in everything you do. You always need some research. Use Google, make Google your friend. I understand that there are people in some countries who can't access laptops or smartphones to do this research, so they depend on cyber cafes or friends, or some distant places. So it's very hard to get this information up front. But just so you know, make some research. You don't want to go somewhere and say, oh, I wish I knew, I wish I saw this video before I came. Just do some research. Check the country you're going to. What do they need? What are the requirements? What are some of the requirements that they need? So you are not stopped at the airport being told, oh, you denied entry, you can't come in here because you don't have this, you don't have that. Things you could avoid if you did your research prior. So those are some of 4 basic things you need if you're planning to come abroad. Some people come here to visit, which is okay. You can come, you want to just go somewhere to visit, or for tourist reasons, or for missionary reasons, those who are religious and Christians and Muslims, and you're going for a conference, or there's this opportunities that just arise here and there, but it's always good to have your passport. So if you are listening to me right now and you do not have a passport yet, and you're thinking of studying abroad, you're thinking of working abroad, you're eyeing that job ad is on Facebook or on TikTok, or you're listening to me right now, or you just watched a video about the red flags of jobs abroad and opportunities abroad, please do something about your passport. And passport costs some money too. It's not free. All these things cost some money at least. Thanks guys for watching this video. If you've not subscribed, please do that. Thank you for staying to the end of the video. I'll see you soon.